Hi there. Just wanted to give everybody a little update on what's going on with our Make America Healthy campaign. Has nothing, no political connotations here, but the last video that we aired, we talked about the real problem with all of our chronic illness situations that are going on in the world. We're in dire straits here, and we need to get a handle on it. But we are not really going to the basic issue of what's causing all this situation, and it's the low-fat diet. And as I mentioned, the National Diabetes Prevention Program is rolling out a curriculum that will start 11 months from now in January 2018, and it's headed toward Medicare, folks on Medicare. And I'll just quickly outline what they're going to do. If you're judged to be pre-diabetic, and there's quite it's pretty easy to be judged. The criteria is pretty narrow, so I mean, it's actually pretty wide, so that a lot of people will fall under this. And this program that they've designed has been around for a while. They've done some studies on it, and it has some great aspects to it, but there are a couple things. There's one thing that's really horrible about it, and it's their diet. It's the diet that they're talking about. And we have to continue stressing the low-fat diet. And folks, that's just not going to work. It's just plain not going to work. That's the whole problem of what has spawned this whole disaster that we're facing. So we have to go to the source, and we have to change the FDA dietary guideline. And what I thought we could do was file an injunction or do something through the courts to get this handled, and that isn't going to work. It's just not going to work. I met with a couple of different law firms last week, and we looked at every angle, and we're just not going to be able to do anything there. And I've done some further exploration on this. I've talked to some doctors that are low-carb, high-fat doctors, the way we really should be eating, and gotten some more input, and this is kind of what we've come up with. What happens, there's a period of time when they decide that they're going to make changes to something, and they put forward a period where you can actually give them some feedback, and they look at the feedback, their panel of people. So when they decided to do this, there was a period of time that they rolled it out, and they took the feedback, and then they made the ruling of what they were going to do. And once that ruling is made, there's really not much you can do about it. So if we can't sue them, then we need to get the input to them. But in further talking with some folks that have actually given some feedback, we've ended up finding out that that isn't going to work either, because they don't pay any attention to the feedback. You know, there really isn't any justification for the low-fat diet. I mean, there's no scientific evidence that it works. In fact, there's more things going against it than there ever was for it, and they've known about it for 70 years, and yet they just keep shoving it down our throat, and that's just making everybody sicker and sicker and sicker. And we need to end it. So what we decided to do is take a little different approach, and they called it a political approach. And if we give them feedback and they're not going to use it, there's no sense in doing that. So we're going to try and bombard them with so much publicity about the low-fat diet, and the cause of all this chronic illness is the low-fat diet. We want everybody to be aware of that. We want to push that right back down their throat. There's just no reason for them to be talking about this low-fat diet. It's got to be an ideological thing or a political thing, because it certainly isn't scientific. I mean, and I have the vested interest in it because I'm a type 2 diabetic, or was, and I've had a heart attack, and I do have neuropathy. I'm reminded every day of the consequences of this, and so that's what we're going to do here. We're going to try to bring this to the attention of the news media, and I'm going to try to raise a little money to see if we can further the cause. I'm going to get a little landing page, I guess is what they call it, and for our MAHA moment, Make America Healthy Again moment, and see if we can scare up a little bit of money, and then we'll go after some larger donations to see if we can get some real press coverage. Some of it we may be able to get some free coverage. We're going to try that too, but we've got to combat this. We cannot allow this to happen, or at least we've got to make people aware that there's going to be a problem. There's something else I just wanted to touch base with you on besides the low-fat diet, and we missed this one, and it's, I apologize, I'm fairly new at this, learning as I'm going along, but I have an acquaintance that is hooked up to, he works actually with Optum, which is the prevention arm of United Healthcare. And he's made me aware of a new program that's rolling out right now, and it's has to do with well, if you're on Medicare right now, you should be getting phone calls quite regularly from your healthcare provider, and they're going to be pushing things like mammograms, colorectal exams, eye exams, preventative measures they deem was necessary. But one of the things that they're going to really go after, I mean, is statin use. Their new studies have indicated that, God forbid, everybody's got to be on statins, so they're going to be pushing that. Now, here's the kicker. On any of these things that I touch base on, including flu shots and things like that, if you do not get your flu shot or sign up to receive statins or go get your mammogram or whatever it is, the government is going to dump Optum or the prevention folks so much money. I mean, they're allowed to make 10% a year, and that's it. So they'll have to make that adjustment. And what it's going to end up doing, it's just going to cost you and I more money. Okay, we know we don't the diet that they recommend, and I certainly do not want anybody to be on statins. Statins are just an awful idea. So anyway, I'm learning as fast as I can, and I'm going to try to get all the doctors together that will support this, and we want to just keep that message out there. And so I'll give you another update here in a little while, but I hadn't forgotten about it, and I certainly am not going to forget about it. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll let you know what's going on. But for right now, that's what we're going to do. We're just going to, if you start seeing some ads, I hope you do here shortly, we want to get a handle on this. Thanks.